exposing my brother's cheating fiancée on their wedding day, and creating a scandalous showdown. I'm a 27-year-old male, and my brother Steven is 29. He's the coolest, sweetest guy, works hard for everyone, and is probably the most generous person I know. So I'm in New York for work, just walking down the street. If you've been to New York, you know how massive it is and how unlikely it is to randomly run into someone you know. Too many people, too much chaos. But then, boom. I see my brother's fiancée, Andrea. She's arm in arm with some random guy I've never seen before. They're laughing and super flirty. Now, keep in mind, Andrea and Steven don't even live in New York. We're all from a town 3 hours away. I've met Andrea's family, her brothers, her dad, most of the clan, and this guy isn't one of them. At first, I'm stunned. Like, do I say hi? Do I pretend I didn't see her? But then she sees me, and she looks immediately flustered. She quickly unlinks arms with the guy and kind of steps away. Then she runs up to me, all excited like nothing happened, gives me a hug, and says, "Oh, this is Landon. We go way back." Now I'm standing there thinking, WTF? So I decide to make a joke, but also not a joke, and I say, "Andrea, you're not cheating on my brother with this handsome guy, are you?" They both laugh, awkwardly, and say, "No, no, no," looking at each other like they're in a middle school play. Every red flag in existence starts waving in my brain. Then Andrea must have sensed that my brain was ticking, because she suddenly blurts out, loud enough for pedestrians around us to look, "Landon is gay." Okay. Odd way to declare that. Then she starts explaining, they're on a friend's getaway. Landon's parents have a place in the Hamptons, they're spending the day in NYC, then heading up there. I'm like, interesting. She could tell I was skeptical, so she added that they were meeting vendors to check out wedding venues and that Landon knows a dress designer here, so she's checking her out for the dress. And I'm like, "Oh, checking out venues without Steven?" She goes, "He knows I'm here, thank you very much." I'm running late to a meeting, so I cut the convo and bounce. But you better believe that interaction sat wrong with me. I text Steven as I'm walking to my meeting and go, "Oh hey, I ran into Andrea in New York." He responds, "No way, that's so funny. What are the odds?" I go, "Yeah, funny. She was with her friend Landon." He texts back, "Landon?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then he calls me. I'm walking into a building so it's quick, but I give him the rundown. He goes, "That's strange. She said she was going to see a friend and check out some stuff for the wedding. Didn't say it was a guy." I say, "I don't know. She said he's gay." He says, I feel like she wouldn't lie about that." I go, "Yeah. I don't know either." He thanks me for the heads up. End of call. About a year later, it's time for the rehearsal dinner. It's back in our hometown, not New York. By then, Steven had told me Andrea didn't find any venues she liked in the city, and apparently, she told him that she never even tried on dresses, and that I had made that up. Yeah. She was trying to frame me as the jealous little brother who didn't want Steven to get married. Andrea and Steven had actually gotten into a huge fight after she got back from NYC, because she didn't tell him she was meeting a male friend. He was like, "I don't care if she has male friends. Just don't lie about it. Don't omit it." He'd never even heard of Landon before. I told him he had every right to be suspicious. The whole thing was shady AF. And then, she started beefing with me. Tried to get me kicked out of the wedding party. Said I was toxic. Claimed I was ruining the family vibe. But Steven wouldn't have it. Then the bomb dropped. About a week before the wedding, I get a message from a woman on Facebook. She says, "Hey, I don't know you personally, but I know Andrea. And I think your brother deserves to know the truth." Attached screenshots of texts, photos, a full-on timeline. Turns out, Landon isn't gay. Andrea and Landon were, and possibly still are, sleeping together. She'd been cheating on Stephen for over a year. With the guy she randomly introduced to me on the streets of New York. The flamboyantly gay bestie. So, I sent it all to Stephen. Everything. He didn't respond for an hour. Then he called me and just said, "Thank you." Next thing I know, the wedding is cancelled. The rehearsal dinner turns into a family sit-down where Stephen explains what happened. Andrea's family is mortified. Herself? Nowhere to be found. She tried texting Stephen that night. He didn't reply. Then she texted me. I blocked her. The wedding day became a guy's trip. Me, Stephen, and two of our cousins hit up a lakeside cabin, brought whiskey, cigars, steaks, and spent the weekend reminding Stephen what real love and loyalty looks like. So yeah? She played games. I saw through it. She tried to frame me, and she exposed herself instead. No regrets. Moral of the story? If you randomly see your brother's fiancée walking arm in arm with a friend, in a city they don't live in, trust your gut. Because your gut doesn't lie. The cheating fiancé, the fake gay friend, and the wedding rehearsal from hell, Part 2. So yeah, apparently I was the bad guy. Because I accused Andrea of cheating on Stephen or whatever. But Stephen wasn't having it. He told her that I was just looking out for him and didn't mean anything by it. But here's the truth, I never liked Andrea. I didn't think she was good enough for Stephen. She always acted like she had a stick up her butt. Stephen likes to say she had a rough childhood, and came from nothing. But I'm like BS. Everyone always uses that as an excuse. Nah, she's just trying to take Stephen for all his hard-earned money. Stephen literally built his life from the ground up. He worked hard for everything he has. And Andrea? She always came across as this lazy, spoiled brat. Sorry, but for real. To be honest, she was spending too much of his money already, and they weren't even married yet. I'm not sure I ever saw her wear the same shoes or purse twice. And then, she buys herself a cute little white Mercedes. With Stephen's money. She even tried to get him to buy a cabin out by the lake for the summer. But for some reason, Stephen loved her. And that was that. You can't argue with love, right? The rehearsal dinner gets weird. So at the rehearsal dinner, they're looking all loved up and whatever, and then I see Landon again. Yep. That Landon. I walk up to him, shake his hand, and go, "Oh, nice to see you again. What brings you here?" And just as I say that, boom. Andrea takes the mic. She makes an announcement, all smiles. "I'd like everyone to meet Landon, my bride's man." And everyone's like, WTF? The bridesmaids and groomsmen had been chosen literally a year ago. Now the numbers are off. Nobody was prepared for this. And Stephen? He looks just as shocked as the rest of us. Then Andrea walks up to Landon, kisses him on the cheek, and they start giggling like high schoolers. I'm standing there like, geez. And Stephen looks furious, but also super confused. He walks up to Andrea, puts his arm around her waist, and whispers something in her ear. Then they both disappear into a back room. Guests start murmuring. Everyone's confused. There's a weird tension in the air now. The maid of honor asks me who Landon is. So the maid of honor comes up to me and goes, "Who's Landon?" I say, "Her gay friend." She's like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, apparently." Then she tells me Landon hit on her earlier, and there's no way he's gay. I just shrug and say, "That's what she told me." A few minutes later, Stephen and Andrea come back out. They look like they've been arguing, visibly flustered, and then they kind of just sit through the rest of dinner in silence. Something's off. Later I talk to Stephen and he says, "I've never met or heard of Landon before. And now she wants him in the wedding party?" Not only that, no one else had heard of him either. It was like she just inserted him into the biggest event of their lives. I say, "It's not too late to back out. Or at least postpone." He goes, I don't think there's a reason to be that drastic. But thanks. I say. No one would judge you, man. He says. Thanks. But I'm good. Just keep an eye on things. Let me know if you see or hear anything. I'm like, yep. Can do, man. Things escalate. Fast. It doesn't take long. Later that night, 2 other guys show up. None of us have any idea who they are. Andrea spends the rest of the evening talking to them, ignoring everyone else. Even her own parents go up to Stephen and ask, "Who are these guys?" They say it's kind of rude for her to ignore guests, especially when some had driven hours to be there. Stephen just goes, "I don't know. Maybe friends of Andrea's. Or maybe they know Landon?" I ask, "You want me to take them out of here? This is your rehearsal dinner." Stephen just shrugs it off and says, "Nah. I don't have time for that." And then, after the dinner's winding down and people are clearing out, I go to the bathroom. This restaurant had individual, private bathrooms, you know, the kind where it's a full room, not stalls. And that's when sh*T hits the fan. I exposed my brother's cheating fiancée at their wedding, using the slideshow meant for baby photos. I honestly don't even know how to explain this next part without sounding like a lunatic, but here goes. At the restaurant after the rehearsal dinner, instead of having normal men's and women's restrooms, the place had a hallway of individual bathrooms, like little private rooms with their own doors, sinks, and toilets. Total privacy. Kinda fancy. I'm walking down the hallway, looking for a free room, and I hear people going at it. Like, full-on moaning, skin-slapping, no ambiguity. Should have booked a hotel. Type of stuff. I kind of laugh, thinking, okay, one of the bridesmaids must have hooked up with one of Stephen's single groomsmen. I finish up, come out, and I'm heading down the hall to get back when a door in front of me opens. And out walk Andrea, Landon, and one of those random dudes who showed up at the rehearsal dinner earlier. They're brushing themselves off, giggling. Andrea's shushing them like they're teenagers sneaking back in after curfew. I'm just standing there, jaw on the floor. Like, did I seriously just catch my brother's fiancée threesome the night before her wedding? Then I come to my senses and do the only logical thing. I pull out my phone and take a photo. Flash on. Yeah, idiot me. Andrea hears the click, sees the flash, turns around, and freezes. I go, "What the hell were you doing in there?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" I say, "You 3 were just F***ing. I heard it. That was not a zipper issue." She stutters. "No. His zipper was stuck. That's his best friend, Zach." Zach just goes, "Hey." I go, "Who are you trying to kid? I heard everything. You're out of your F***ing mind if you think I'm buying that." She goes, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Stephen doesn't believe his naive little brother anymore. He's done listening to you cry wolf." Then she doubles down, saying, "Landon is gay. Zach's his boyfriend. I was just helping with the zipper." I go, "So, Zach couldn't fix his own zipper and needed you in there? You're ridiculous. Wait till Stephen hears this." Then she literally lunges at me. "But Zach, shout out to him? I guess?" Holds her back. I'm laughing my ass off by now. Stephen had already left earlier since they drove separately. So I haul it to his place, beat her there, and show him the photos. Tell him exactly what I saw and heard. He keeps asking, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, dude. I was there. I saw them." Then Stephen, stone cold calm, says, "Here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna cancel anything. Not yet. The plan, baby photos plus betrayal. See, during the ceremony the next day, there was going to be a slideshow, cute baby photos, couple pics, their life together, all that sappy stuff." Stephen tells me, "Let's alter the slideshow. Humiliate her. Let's give people the truth. You act like I kicked you out of the wedding party. We play along. Then boom. So he sends me the file. I edit the whole thing that night. I get a text from Steven later. She bought it. Tomorrow's still on. So I ghost everyone. No texts, no replies. Rumors start flying. Did Opie get kicked out of the wedding? What happened? I take an Uber to the venue in disguise, yes, really, hoodie, hat, all of it. Didn't want anyone recognizing my car. The slideshow goes live. Everyone's sitting, smiling. Slides start, baby photos, graduation pics, couple selfies. Ah. Wholesome. Then, slide 37, the photo I took outside the bathroom. Followed by a black screen with white text. Andrea is a cheater. The wedding of Steven and Andrea will not be going ahead. Please take your gifts and envelopes back. We're sorry for wasting your time. Gasps. Screams. Andrea's parents start frantically calling people. Grandparents are crying. Guests are confused and whispering. And I'm in the back like, boom. Baby. The aftermath. Steven later tells me Andrea denied everything. Then threatened to sue me. For what? Who knows? Eventually, though, with some digging and cornering, she confessed. She admitted she'd been cheating on Steven with Landon for over a year. Said she met him on Tinder. Landon and Zach were looking for a third, and she joined in. Claimed she found herself in this open, poly love fest. She also said she didn't want to give up Steven, because she loved him too. She thought that after marriage she could convince him to be part of this poly situation, with her, Landon, Zach, and some third guy who already had a girlfriend. Yeah. You can't make this SHT up. Asterisk. Steven was broken. This man doesn't get embarrassed. Doesn't show hurt. But this broke him. The fallout. The white Mercedes she drove? Technically Steven's, he bought it, it was under his name, but helped her sign for it. So it became a legal mess. They'd been filing taxes as common law, so there was paperwork and more red tape. Steven asked for the ring back. She refused. That became a thing too. She actually tried to sue me. Didn't go anywhere. She even tried to get a restraining order against me, and the judge basically laughed her out of the courtroom. Final words? Steven dodged a nuclear missile. She was about to drag him into a lifetime of lies, manipulation, financial drain, and God knows what else. And me? Yeah, I may have hijacked a wedding slideshow. But I regret nothing. Update, she thought she could have it all. Until the truth blew up at the altar. So I guess Andrea really thought she could have it all. The poly romance, the secret hookups, the white Mercedes, and the picture-perfect wedding to a guy she planned to manipulate into some twisted, big happy family fantasy. She tried to convince Steven that it would be good for him. That a poly relationship would make their bond stronger. Yeah, right. Then came the waterworks. The sobbing. The Oscar-level dramatics. And then, she showed up at my house. Banging on my door like a lunatic. Screaming about how I ruined her life. That I ruined what was best for Steven. That I just don't want to see my brother happy. Then it got weird. She starts yelling things like, "You love your brother a little too much, more than a brother should." At that point, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, yep, she's officially lost it. And honestly, everyone saw it. Her mask had fallen. Our dad even stepped in. He told us flat out that he was glad the wedding didn't go through, said he always had a bad feeling about Andrea. And then Steven said something that hit me hard. "Don't ever hold back on me again. If your gut tells you something's wrong, save me the trouble next time." Respect. Total respect. It's been a wild ride. Who would have thought that a random walk in New York City would blow this whole thing open? New York, the city where you're more likely to get struck by lightning than run into someone you know. And I find Andrea, mid-flirt, arm in arm with Landon, like fate just decided. Not today, Satan. Catching your brother's fiancée red-handed in the Big Apple? That's like finding a needle in a haystack the size of Central Park. And the "he's gay" excuse? Classic. As believable as saying Times Square is a quiet neighborhood. Turning a wedding rehearsal into a live episode of Jerry Springer? Chef's kiss. Steven? He hit the sibling jackpot. I've had his back since day one. From spotting Andrea's sketchy behavior in NYC, to standing firm at the rehearsal dinner, to altering the slideshow of doom that ended their wedding before it began. I did what any real brother would do. I didn't keep quiet. I didn't let her gaslight her way into Steven's life permanently. I stood my ground and told the truth, even when it was messy. Steven's healing now. The legal stuff over the car and the ring got sorted. She tried to sue me and get a restraining order, either worked. She's out of the picture. And me? Still rocking the title of Brother of the Year. Final thoughts? If you ever have a gut feeling that something's off with your sibling's partner, don't ignore it. Because sometimes, one photo with the flash on is all it takes to save someone from a lifetime of misery. Have you ever had to step in for a sibling like this? Caught someone in the act? Dealt with a family blow-up? Share your stories in the comments below. And hey, thanks for joining me on this wild ride. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another scandalous update from real life. See you next time.